I told my job, I was like, hey, I got this opportunity coming. Like, I'm leaving tomorrow, and I'm gonna be gone for 7 days.
There's just so much substance outside of here. I know I sound like I'm always talking shit, but I'm not. Like, I promise.
You can work something out or whatever.
Bro, you're downplaying the shit out
No,
of
no,
that.
no, no, no.
No. You're downplaying the shit out of that.
Which is interesting because there's people who reach out to me that are doing car photos and like, hey man, how much do you charge? Or how much did you charge? Or I'm barely starting, what should I do? And I'm just like, well, how much do you think you're worth? Be quiet. Get out of here. Episode one on It's Monday again. What's today?
It's not Monday.
It's not Monday. It's a Wednesday, right? Yeah, it's Wednesday. Interesting start. Humble beginnings, definitely, with this podcast. Something completely brand new for me. You already have experience doing podcasts. I mean, how long have you been hosting podcasts for people? Or like, you're kind of like the guy behind the chair, right, for the people in the podcast?
Yeah, I've been producing podcasts, I think, over a year and a half now.
Jesus.
And I've been doing it like full time, probably since like July.
This July.
Yeah, this July. That's why this July I went like full time with one client that was like all podcast only.
That's good. Yeah, you did tell me, and that you were doing some of that marketing with the other company, but then they kind of like, well, you did your own thing, and then you've been taking these guys like under your wing.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know. I feel like I was a little bit useless with the setup here going on because like I'm super technical with like a lot of stuff and like the audio or whatever, and I was trying to be as helpful as much as I could, but I was like, I don't know any of this. All I could do is bring my camera and try to help as much as I could. But yeah, so let's get into whatever it is that we're trying to get into with Monday again. And I think for me, at least locally, the idea we brought up, well, realistically, it was Golden who decided to suggest like, hey, we can do a podcast here because of the setup in the new store.
Yeah.
So Golden Vapor 3 out here in Montana recently had a grand opening, and when we came in to do some photography, real estate photography, essentially what it was, you and I, he suggested like, hey, look, you could actually do a podcast here. It'd be sick. And I'm like, started firing in all cylinders. Like, yeah, we definitely could do it. And this like happened literally like from one day to the next. I feel like it's been a few weeks of prepping and like talking about it for sure. But it was pretty exciting to like get into this. And for me, it's brand new. Like I could talk forever. So I was like, easily, I can do that for sure. And then, well, you already have experience doing it. I think it was like the dream team almost. The fact that you already knew like this equipment and doing it, it's like it was meant to happen. So hell yeah, we're pulling the trigger on this. So for me, at least, I'm trying to get people out here locally as much as we can to expand like whatever it is that they're doing. Entrepreneurs, car owners, tattoo artists, business owners, brand owners, models, as much as we can get from interesting people. Shit, if there's somebody that we know that has like, I don't know, like maybe even a homeless person that's interesting, that's got something going on, we could probably get them out here and speak to them too. It'd be pretty funny to get that going. But I don't know. I mean, like, what's your perception of it? Because I'm in my own bubble as to what it is that I want this to be. But like, what expectations would you have with this not being like a direct Mangeki thing? Because obviously, like, Mangeki is my own thing or whatever, but I wanted this to be a bigger thing again. Monday again. Just the name itself is like everybody who has like a business or a brand or whatever that doesn't necessarily operate like in a 9 to 5. At least from my perspective, they think like Monday's a new week to start. So maybe you had a shitty week on Friday or whatever, and you're like, Monday's my new week and I can start fresh. So I think Monday again is something you see as like a business owner, I guess, to start a new fucking week. But for you, looking from the outside in, like, is there anything that you wish to see this turn into? Like, I don't know, just because I haven't even asked you before this. Like, all we did was just get all this together.
Yeah, bro, because you just don't care. Just kidding. So,
I'm in my own bubble. I did admit I'm in my own bubble.
No, you're good. I'm just giving you shit, bro. No, I mean, essentially what I want is just to have like just conversations with people, just find out more about them, or I don't know. You just never know who brings like certain stuff to the table, and you never know who's like actually like in your city that's probably doing some cool shit.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like Jonathan Golden, dude. Like, big fucking thank you for like having the
No
fucking
shit, yeah.
spot, like just supporting everything, like pretty much sponsoring like the whole
Mhm.
thing. Um, yeah, I didn't know he was like that fucking cool, dude. Like, and it was
Yeah, no
funny.
shit.
Yeah, no, like, it's actually funny, dude, because I talked to him at the last cruise weekend, like a long time ago, and he was just like with Winston, and I was like, oh, dude, like you're a pretty cool guy, you know. But I was like, I didn't know like how to continue the conversation after. But it's like I didn't even know that he was like, you know, the owner of Golden Vapor,
Right,
and
right.
yeah,
I mean, it's been years that I've seen the logo at like the Springfest stuff, and even up until a few years ago, I started doing the low class flyers. There's like a bit of word of mouth that like people know that I do some of the well, actually most of the flyers. Slowed down a little bit this year, but um, I would put the Golden Vapor logo in a lot of stuff, and like they've always been, from my as far as I can remember, involved heavily in the car community. And so I don't think I ever knew who he was. So it's like when we did our own thing with the Stand Small, he was probably like the first to approach, along with other people who were interested. But I hesitated a little bit because it was a bit intimidating for me because I was like, okay, I'm just gonna wait it off a little bit. And then I got a word from Diego saying like, hey, he wants to like be a part of this. If you don't get back to him soon, he's gonna pull away. So I was like, dude, I gotta like get onto it. So when we started speaking about like the ideas or whatever what we were gonna do and like the whole sponsorship thing, it was pretty nerve wracking for me because again it was like a brand new thing, and like I said, I had seen their logo and a bunch of stuff before and they were heavily involved. So when we finally got into like a deal and seal the deal with Stan Small, like thankfully everything ran smoothly because of my huge prepared freakness that I've been always about. But from that point forward, I got like a super big like, I guess like I feel like there's been some level of trust for sure, and um, I had no idea who the guy was really. So super cool, super dope. Shout out. This is all possible through it. So more than just a sponsorship, definitely a partnership because we could deliver our own. I don't want to say community, but definitely like our little influence that we have because we definitely can get some little pool and then just make all this happen. And this is something I've always been thinking of doing, but I just didn't have, for one, the location. Second, like someone like you that'd be able to make this happen. So, or someone like them to make it happen. So I think everything has culminated from Mangekyou with the relationships as of Stan Small. So I don't know. It's just like pretty exciting to get this going, and uh, hopefully we can get some people out here. As far as projects go, when did the location open? Do you remember? Let me look it
it
up.
was October 20th.
Oh shit, you have that on lock. Yeah, that's pretty exciting. Um, what else we got going on? Let me see.
Yeah, no, we're I think currently, I think the biggest thing that I guess everybody wants to know is about Stan Small, the next one. And you,
Okay, so
without giving away too much, like I know that we're trying to make like some stuff happen. Obviously, because I talk to Abe like every day, dude.
it's gonna be larger. For one, it's gonna be larger, bigger, badder, better. That's not a understatement for sure. But I missed a phone call today. Actually, I was actually in the process to try to get an official date locked in. It's definitely going to be after Springfest, just so that everybody has a um, that in their mind. Because I thought maybe if we were to do something before, they wouldn't. It wasn't going to be ideal because everybody's working towards the biggest show in this season, which is, Springfest. So I think it would only make more sense to do it after when everybody already has their cars ready, and also not too close to it either because again, I feel like they'd be a little fatigued from that. But um, either the first week of April or the last week of March. That's all I have right now. Pretty big things the for the location, not just indoor, but we'll definitely be having something outside. Um, Logistically speaking, we're still in the process of that. But I think it's gonna be hella exciting. Like actually pretty nerve wracking. Like I'm already thinking even past that, but um, I don't know, man. If there's anybody out there who wants to be part of that, we definitely have enough time to like think about it this time and make some planning. Because last time like we just reached out and sure they said yes, but by the time they said yes, it was already around the corner. So I was like, oh shit. So it caught me off guard and I was like, no, let's do this. Like they offered like a lot more, but I was like, no, I just want to do this. And like I think I also was able to earn their trust, and they were like super happy with the turnout. Um, and so when I reached out to them to the second part, they're like yes, they didn't hesitate because I think before they were kind of hesitant, especially with the whole acquisition. Now it's like, yeah, let's do it like 100%. Like now I have them on my side, but I always want to hear like the outside perception of it. Like, what would be, for example, for you, what would be ideal as a spectator for Stand Small 2? Leaving outside everything I've told you from this particular like conversation between you outside of the podcast, like for you as a spectator, because I know you were part of staff, obviously, but like as a spectator, I don't know, what would you expect? What would you like?
I don't know. I think that the first one was really fucking dope. I liked pretty much everything about it. But this year, like, or this next one, obviously aside from like the stuff that I know already, I think I want to see people from out of town come here. I want it to be where like you invite someone from out of town and they're actually fucking down to show up.
Yeah.
Because I'm not like bashing on anybody here. I just would like to see people come to here the way that we go to other shows.
Right.
And I would love that. And I'm not saying like, oh yeah, dude, like you're just talking shit about all the people here. I'm not. Like I would like for you guys to see the cars that I've seen.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I hate when people are always like, "Oh, it's the same cars every year," and "Oh, it's the same shit every year," and they just seem to not realize that El Paso has a decent car community. The quality is pretty good. As far as like size goes, I mean, sure, it's not the biggest, but for example, when we go to Albuquerque or when we go to an out of town show, we see something that we like and it's so dope, but because we haven't seen it before, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like people just take it for granted. I think that's what goes on a lot. It's like they take for granted the quality that we do have. Sure, I mean, there's always going to be clap shit, you know, or stuff that isn't up to par to quality and taste. But
dude, I know. Like we went to freaking Gatlinburg, dude, and I think it was like the funniest thing, like telling everybody the same thing. It's like, yeah, dude, we saw a lot of fucking dope shit, but there was still a bunch of clap shit here.
Plenty.
Like,
Oh, plenty.
I don't think that changes anywhere.
No, I don't think it does. As far as like mass goes, definitely like ridiculous, man, ridiculous. It would take you an hour to get somewhere that was 20, 25 minutes away, not even 30 minutes, like insane. Again, trip made possible through a partnership with Golden Vapor. It was very last minute. I told my job, I was like, hey, I got this opportunity coming. Like, I'm leaving tomorrow and I'm going to be gone for 7 days. And they were like flabbergasted. They didn't know really what to say. I was like, hey man, like I'm not asking you, like I'm telling you, like this is an opportunity I've been waiting for years, and like it was presented to me before, but not in a way that I really wanted to take. It was like it would have been an uncomfortable situation, but whatever. This time around, I was like, dude, we can make it happen. Like it's definitely possible. And my workplace, we had to have a meeting over it, like with management. They were like, is this going to be an issue in the future? And I was honest, dude. I was like, it's potential, like it potentially, yes, because like without saying it, I kind of said like I'll put Mangekyu over this company, not explicitly saying it, but that's what I let them understand, and that's literally what happened. So I was able to like do some emails and some email marketing and whatever when I was out there, but all I did was I don't know, like 2 hours worth of work out there, and then but yeah, dude, I mean, Gallenberg was insane. Anybody who has any like interest above average for car or at least stands community needs to make the trip, you know. And I mean, I understand people want to take their cars or whatever, but like even just experience it alone, like you don't have to take a vehicle. It might even just be, I think it's dangerous too. Like it's just ridiculous, like the amount of risk you put yourself in just by taking your vehicle or just attending like ourselves, you know what I'm saying? I guess as photographers, it's easier for us to say like you don't have to take your car, but even then, there was a lot of times where I wasn't taking pictures. I was just soaking it all in. Like I realized that I wasn't picking up my camera, and I was like, "Damn, this is crazy! Like it's insane."
Yeah, and that's exactly like the way that you're talking about it is exactly like what I personally would love for everybody that went to Stand Small and goes to the next one to talk about. Like
Right.
if they were from another city,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's what I want, like more than anything. I want something to be taken back somewhere else because I don't know. I'm pretty tired of everybody thinking El Paso is just a shitty city. Like, I mean, I did it. I moved away. I was gone for like almost 10 years. I came back and I'm like, dude, I fucking hate it.
But
here.
there's worse.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah.
Without saying any specific city names, but,
I mean,
there worse.
there is, but I don't know. Like, it's just fuck, bro. Like, there's just so much substance outside of here. I'm not saying that we're like. I know I sound like I'm always talking shit, but I'm not. Like, I promise. What I'm
Right.
saying is like, there's just a very whole different like tuner community. There's a whole racing community.
Right.
There's like a whole drift community.
Right.
Which I wish the drift community here was bigger, like more than anything.
Oh, we need a track.
Yeah.
For one.
Yeah.
For one. Everybody here has to either go to Albuquerque or Arizona to make that happen. It's large here, and you got motherfuckers over here drifting in the street. I'm guilty, you know. I'll be part of that too. But
Yeah.
um,
And actually, now that you mentioned that, like, I didn't want to spoil the surprises, but Golden Track coming 2025, drift event and everything.
huh? What? Dude, I was like, what? This is like blowing up. No,
Nah.
that's fucking insane.
Imagine, dude.
Um,
Bro has his own track.
I don't see why not. I believe Gene has like something near his house, like he does or whatever, and like I wouldn't be a bad investment, but just something like kind of like thinking about what I've thought about. But yeah, I don't know, like Stance Malls itself, it's kind of scary because like this last one was a bit of a, I don't know, like it definitely operated on some losses. We made something, but like just to take home and give an experience. But this time around, like we want to deliver the experience. And luckily in GAT, we were able to speak to some people, and like interestingly enough, some name drop people we knew. Like for example, 30 Roku, one of our homies that we met out there. Excuse me, Tim. Tim was like, "Oh yeah, you guys know that guy 30 Roku," and I was like, "Hell yeah, do I know 30 Roku?" Like we had a meet together in Ruidoso. Like, of course I know 30 Roku. But like we bumped into one of the clean culture like main guys out there, and it'd be. I mean, I think they partially invited us to do something like at Arizona, I believe. Like, hey, we can work something
Bro.
out or whatever.
Bro, you're downplaying the shit out
No,
of
no,
that.
no, no, no.
Nah. You're downplaying the shit out of that. Bro, it's like 4 in the morning. We're about to leave. And then we see all the like top dogs from Clean Culture are just getting gas. They're getting
4
gas at
4 a.m.
Yeah, like 4 a.m. And they're like, "Oh yeah, we're about to go shoot right now." And we were like, "What?" And this guy was over here talking to them like all happy and shit. What? I mean, you weren't like fangirling or nothing. You were just vibing and chilling. And then I was like talking to them as well, like for a little bit. And then it was really cool because I heard like 2JZ Jason, which I think is like the owner of Clean Culture. He was talking to him, and then he was like, "Oh, you're Mangekyu?" And then he saw that you had a brand and shit, and he's like, "Hey, bro, we're gonna do some shit in Arizona." I was like, "I'll give
Yeah,
you a booth."
he did start dropping like all this info about it, huh?
Yeah, dude. And then but you're downplaying the shit out of that. I thought that was so fucking cool. The dude who has like a really big fucking brand was like, "Dude, I fuck with your shit." He's like, "I'll give you a fucking booth if you can make it out to Arizona." But it was like way too short notice for us to do it.
Yeah, I was literally what, like in 2 weeks, right?
Not even. It was like the week after.
Yeah, yeah. No, and like I don't know if I'd be able to get a hold of them like that because I didn't necessarily get like any phone numbers, but we know that there's some level of interest outside of Texas. Like that alone is like, I mean, obviously we got New Mexico and Arizona that supports hella, but the fact that we had some level of interaction of people who already knew without us having to like tell them like this is who we are. Like they're like, oh yeah, like I've seen that before. For example, Tim, he's like, oh, I mean, I'm already following you from before, like so yeah, my plan for that is trying to get some like larger names out here. I'm gonna start sending some emails and try to see if we can get some people into the mall. Not just necessarily into the mall, but like to the show of like vendors, people like Clean Culture, maybe even Afraid of Drowning, maybe Fear of Dying. I don't know. Just try to. I'm just gonna try to shoot because if you don't shoot, like
Never
you're always gonna miss, you know.
Yeah.
So there's that. But a few other things. I mean, I really wish I could say more without spoiling it, but I don't want to give it away until we have like the date locked in, which should have been today, but I didn't answer the damn phone call, and I called him back and it didn't pick up. So that's my fault.
I'm a big believer that like when stuff like that happens, it's for a reason, and the reason is for me to call you a fucking dumbass.
I did feel stupid as hell because like it's a bit hard to get a hold of them. Not gonna lie. Some people have been asking me like, who did you have to talk to, so and so, because they kind of like want to plug their own thing to get it going, and I was like, well, you can speak to so and so, but if they're gonna really like pay attention to you is a different story. Because what I pitched to them when I pitched it was almost too hard to like deny. I feel like, or to like to say no to, and I guess that's why they really want to talk to me. But even then, like I have to wait. Like I have to wait for them to speak to me, and like it's a bit nerve wracking because I'm like, hey, this is coming up. Like when are we gonna talk about this? And now that I was gonna get the phone, well, that I reached out, they actually called, and I'm just like, damn. But yeah, I don't know. I wish we could. I wish I could drop more about it, but there's that.
Well, without, I guess, keeping the same topic about that, and so you don't have to spoil nothing. Coming back to the podcast, I was gonna ask you, like, who do you look forward to the most, like, to speak to,
Ooh.
or that you want to have on the show?
Honestly, like I've been really adamant to ask. Well, I already asked him, but like, just keep reminding him is underdogs. Underdogs has a lot going for like that. He just kind of keeps on the low. Different from like us, when we have something going on, we're like right away like, I want to post a teaser. I want to let people know that we're going to be doing this. Or we're going to drop this or whatever. He doesn't. He has it done, and then he just announces it. Hey, this is coming already. You know, so and so. I'll spill the beans everywhere, like with my friends, before I actually make it happen, which is, you know, kind of like a double-edged sword. Because when it doesn't, then like, hey, you said you were going to do this, but underdogs, they've been around for a while. Like they've been around for a while, even before like I started doing the pictures or whatever. And like I always liked their shit. I just never really knew who was behind it, which is always the tricky part when it comes to like brand owners. Is like, who do I talk to? But definitely underdogs. Also with the podcast, it's not just going to be me in front of the camera. It'd also be you speaking to other people. Because like I said previously with before we even hit record, it's like your chemistry with other people is probably better than mine, and it'll keep things fresh. So I'll probably ask you the same thing. Like for me, it's definitely underdogs. Definitely got a lot going on. Their designs are so sick. There's a few things that I've spoken to him in person where it's like, oh yeah, I don't even want to spoil it, but he's like, there's things that I don't even like about what I do, but I do it because it does well, you know? And like, it's like, oh, that's actually really interesting. And like the things that he wants for them to do well, don't do well. So he has to kind of also he has to force his creativity on things he doesn't necessarily like, which is super interesting because that's happened to me too. But like, I don't like to admit it, so I just give up on it. And like, he won't. But for you, if there's a scenario where you could interview somebody, obviously else, that I don't call dibs on, like who would you try to get a hold of to bring out here? That's possible.
For me, that's possible.
Yeah, I bring up.
Oh, dude, Hector from Fast and Furious.
Actually, I don't think that'd be impossible. I really don't
Nah,
think
just
so.
kidding. Nah, I just thought it's funny, like that. I saw him like in El Paso, like pretty, like
Well,
1 week after the
yeah,
event.
he came. Yeah, he came back twice. Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, but I mean, all bullshit aside, I don't really have a person that I guess I'm looking forward to, like, I guess interviewing or like just talking to in the podcast or whatever. Cause like, I don't know, I'm just the type of person that just wants to have a conversation.
Mm.
But I really do like going into stuff blindly too. Like,
Oh.
certainly, for certain, there's like people that I would want to like talk to, but there's people that I would never like even think about talking to.
Yeah, actually, that does. Yeah, like, I've actually caught on to that for a lot of places that we've gone. Because I mean, we've been on the road a couple times in the last year. I think this year in particular, like I've known you since 2022 maybe,
Yeah.
late 22, right? So your thing was definitely marketing outside what Dallas Fort Worth area is of like 2021, 22, right? I believe you kind of knew of our existence. I believe you told me through Mario Oreo. Big shout out to Mario Oreo, one of the originals actually with the video stuff here.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a huge influence on me, just because like in El Paso I didn't really see like a lot of like people shooting cars.
High quality, that is.
Yeah, dude. And I told him straight up, and like it was crazy because in the cruise weekend when he went up to me and he's like, "Dude, I've seen your videos and they're pretty good." And like for me, it's like, what? Like,
Yeah, right.
there's no way this guy's telling me that. Like, I was like, I fucking looked up to you, bro. And I don't know, it's pretty cool, like full circle moment.
And he's still at it. Like he's still out
Yeah,
there.
dude.
You just see him casually. Oh shit, that's Mario Oreo. Everybody knows.
Yeah, and I don't know. He's super cool guy. Like I think he had a huge influence on like what I wanted to do with picking up the camera.
Right. And so you saw my shit through him, and then I think I had a Halloween party, right? And you're like, "Hey, I'm gonna pull up." Like I don't even know how. I was like, "I'm gonna pull up. What's up?" Say what's up. I'm like, just exchange a few words, so and so, and just started like linking up, doing some car shit together. And as of this year, I think we've done most of the traveling. Here and there, obviously, you kind of do your own thing and do your own thing. But like the times that we do end up in the same place at the same time with out of town stuff, um, there's I don't know, there's a like a whole creative process that we both can feed off of each other, and I've always like been a fan of that.
Yeah, dude. I think you and I have just such different styles. Like, but it's funny because we both end up like in the same like grungy shit where it's like I tend to lean on my gear and like my professionalism and like the things that I know how to do, and you do like the complete opposite. But we do like the same shit. Like,
Yeah, essentially, yeah, we fall under the same like, yeah, I get what you're saying.
not exactly the same, but what I'm trying to say is like we get like the same vibe that like, we're trying to go for.
Right. Like I'm just trying to do like a expression of we falling within the same lane, I guess. Not necessarily the
Yeah.
exact same content, but yeah, no, I like a fan of your shit for sure. Like I've always wondered, like, how is it that I'm doing all this shit and I don't land the gigs you do? Like that's always been my question because like I land decent gigs or whatever, but like I've seen the shit that you're landing. I'm like, "Ah, what? Like how? Like it's not just so much about what you know, but who you know for sure. Like that goes everywhere. So I've always been a fan of like the shit that you do. So like when you invite me to do like these non-car related shows, I'm super excited because it's like cool. Like I get in there as a media. I don't have to pay a ticket. I don't have to, I don't have to stand in line. I don't have to wait for everybody else, and then just do this media shit and actually kill it together. I'll give you that content. You can use it, whatever. I just want to do my own thing with it as well. But um, yeah, I'm super like grateful with the whole partnership that we have going on. Not just necessarily you and I, but definitely Golden Vapor. All of this is just like literally it's like a creative bubble. No pun intended, creative cloud. No shout out to Adobe, but um, I don't know. It's been super exciting this year. Sometimes I feel like, oh, I haven't done enough. Like I still could be doing more. Like when I'm laying in bed, I'm like on my phone, like what? Like I could be doing something else. But like, dude, we've done a lot. Like just you and I alone. Like even separate from the things that I do myself in Mangeki, like you and I have been putting in work with some pretty cool shit, and like I still feel like we could be doing more. And this is just part of it too. It's like this is another one. Like, and I'm super excited for it with Monday again.
Yeah, no, for sure, dude. Like, I guess I don't want to like. This isn't really like a secret, but I mean, we've told people that like we're gonna go to Weckfest this year.
Mhm.
Like, we're going in December, and I think that we're gonna meet like the person we're supposed to meet there because I'm not like a superstitious person, but I've been having dreams about having a meeting with someone there,
Shit.
and like, and because I'm already how can I say? I'm already prepared that we're gonna go to like LS Fest, which is like
Mhm.
it's also like after. And I just have this feeling, bro. I just have this
Hey,
fucking
man.
feeling.
Te escuché. Um, Speaking of like the shows that we plan to go, what did we do this year? Well, what did I do specifically? When the year started, what was the first thing? I think low class in April was in San Antonio. Well, obviously Springfest. Everybody knows Springfest. Um, and then we did San Antonio. We did. Well, Stand Small happened. We went to that. Oh no, I went to the Drift event in Tucson with John and the other John.
Both Johns.
Yeah, in February, and then man, was it June, July? Man, a lot. It's so much I even can't even remember. LS Fest was definitely the same week. I went the same week to LS Fest and Low Class San Antonio. Houston was also like not too long ago. GAT was literally like the week after. Um, so much, man. So Redoso, and most of it is like the low class stuff that we travel to. But I've also been trying to like explore other horizons with like other brands that have other things going on because there's just so much. Like at least in Texas alone, insane. Put so much mileage on the Kia with just going to. Actually, my dad today was like, "Hey man, you already have 100,000 miles on the car." I was like, "Yeah, you told me to take it to GAT. That's 3,000 miles. Like that's one oil change in one travel, like in one trip." And he's like, "Oh, what about the other 4,000?" I'm like, "It's normal, isn't it? Like in 2 months, like 4,000 miles. But what's not normal is 3,000 miles in 4 days. Like,
Yeah, that's
so that alone was like just wild. Like nothing I've ever experienced before. Again, we go back to the GAT thing, but it's part of the whole, partnership and the whole experience of like us trying to do more, and that's all we've been doing, just doing more as much as we can.
yeah. And then with that being said, like I actually like I just want to get this out of my head, but I really wish that we would hit fucking bullet trains, at least in Texas, bro. Like,
Mm,
hey, golden bullet train coming soon.
yeah. Everything golden. Yeah, no shit. And I don't know, like there's definitely a lot of room for growth. There's definitely like for everybody to eat, but I can't help but feel like sometimes the photography game also is a little saturated. Um, I know it comes out like kind of like out of nowhere, but a lot of people. The reason why I say it is because in my head, it's like a lot of people ask me like, "How do you even do that? Like, how are you able to go? Like, how are you able to travel?" Like, I get those messages a lot. Like, "Damn, dude, like, how?" And honestly, dude, I just go. Like, a lot of times I don't have a lot in my pocket to say like, I'm gonna go and I'm just gonna do it, like, because I can afford it. Like, nah, man. There's been times where in Albuquerque last year, actually, I had to stay at this hotel that was literally behind a morgue, like a fucking morgue, bro. And like, thankfully, my room, my door, my window wasn't facing the morgue, but like, it was so cheap. It was in a bad side of town. I had to get all my stuff, like, just because I was trying to save money. But the thing is, like, I don't want to say that other people aren't necessarily like committed to it, but there's definitely levels to how committed you are. So for me to be like, I'm just gonna go out. Like I said, I just left my job. You had just come back from Dallas to go to GAT, like literally a week. You were here a day, I think, or two, and you just went back for
Yeah,
another week,
yeah.
like
No, I'm
away from your
fucking,
family.
yeah. I'm like, yeah. I'm still sorry about that, Selena, if you're watching, dude. It's because
Hey,
like,
thank you for letting him go, because otherwise I would have been. I think I would have crashed in Texarkana because it's such a long drive, like insane.
yeah,
Wow.
fucking. It was like super long. Honestly, like, it 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 sucked knowing like how much time was left, but at the same time, like when you saw the time keep going down, like it was like really fucking exciting.
Right, right, and like it didn't. I don't know. It felt longer, obviously, going because of how eager we were, at least for me. And then on the way back, it was like I just really didn't feel it that much because it was just like that's it. Like just time to rest and time to recover because it really was taxing. It was very taxing on us, but definitely worth it 100%. Um, other than that, yeah, with the whole going back to the whole photography game, you, for example, I know you try to expand your horizons. What's the biggest thing that draws you to doing the car stuff? Because like you got so much other things you could work on that you have clients for that you can just do your own thing, models, fighting, whatever. But for some reason, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but for some reason, like the car stuff keeps drawing you in. Like what particular thing is that for you? Because it might be different for me, but it might be the same. And I don't think I've ever even asked you that.
I think what draws me back more than anything is that like everybody shoots the car, and everybody started to do like content around the cars, but like lately, like when I switched to like Fujifilm, please sponsor me.
Dumb bad.
I know. Nah, when I switched to Fujifilm, like there was just a whole different aspect of like taking pictures. For me, it like completely changed.
Yeah.
For me, it went from I took a cool photo, the intention is to post it and get a bunch of fucking likes. And it turned into I took a photo that I like
Yeah.
and I want to share what I like with everybody else. And then
Right.
from there, I showed like the lifestyle around cars because I just love cars, dude. Like I like fast cars, I like stance cars, I like pretty much like cars that are like
Anything that has wheels and an engine.
yeah, dude. Like I mean, there's like shitty stuff that I think is like really fucking cool.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, like dude, a fucking 4-door super sport like 90s like Impala, like the
Mhm.
one from that one movie with Ice Cube. Like I fucking love that car. And like some people were like, "Why, dude? Like you're into like all this like import shit." And then it's like, dude, have you even seen like my daily? Like my
Yeah.
daily's a fucking 2012 Nissan Altima, dude.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Just in general, like I think a lot of the things that like I'm drawn to is just because like I just I like the car. I want to show people enjoying stuff around cars the way that I think
Right.
I enjoy them. You know.
Yeah, because for us, like when we first started, I was doing music. I was doing a bunch of other little creative projects that I like. But obviously, as an artist, you like to be acknowledged. You know, that doesn't go without saying. But I saw from the very beginning when we started off strong. Like thankfully to the some of the people that we knew, starting off with Diego, low class Diego, Dave, Dave's Media, a lot of these guys, Jordan, that already had like a pretty good car, a pretty good solid build back in like 2019. Most of them already had low class banners, and I started like with like a piece of shit Canon, and I tried to do the most I could. And realistically, I don't think I've already said it. I don't think we've gotten good until well, we got good until like maybe last year's, like as far as quality goes and like color grading and all this and stuff. We always had like a bit of like a following where people liked our shit, but what I'm getting at is that our my approach was always like, oh, people actually like this. Like I started taking pictures because sure, I was taking pictures of models, or I was trying to take pictures of like little cinematics and stuff. But like when I realized that people were like, yeah, I like this. Like I'm gonna share it. How much do you charge? When I first got my first booking, I didn't even know like what to charge, and which is interesting because there's people who reach out to me that are doing car photos and are like, hey man, how much do you charge? Or how much did you charge? Or I'm barely starting. What should I do? And I'm just like, well, how much do you think you're worth? Well, I would tell my friends like, you should charge. Like don't ever like cheap out. Like even if you think like you're not good enough, charge. Like it's like when people give out CDs for free at the like for their mixtape or whatever. People are bound to throw it away because it's free. But if you ask for them $1, now they're not gonna throw it away because it cost them $1. You know, so it's the same thing. Like sure they'll reach out to you. You don't think it's worth it, but like once you put a price on it, then it makes people feel like okay, like you know this is actually something that I'm paying for. I gotta appreciate it just as much as you should when you put a price on it. But yeah, I don't know. Just like the support for us has been a big one. Um, and realistically, it might come as a shock to people, but like I'm not really like a big car guy. Like as far as like I'm not a person who will work on the cars himself. Cause I don't really know much. Like I know the few things, the basic stuff or whatever, because I learned it through the car community, bro. Like when I first started, I didn't know what a VSKF was. I didn't know what a TE37 was. It just all grew into me like the verbiage because people were like, oh yeah, those so and so and so, and like, oh shit, like literally all this stuff that I learned of the car stuff that I know is through the people that like I shot because I just thought a car looked cool. A car looked cool to me, you know, until I realized like, oh, that car's on Lizzo threes or whatever. You know, I don't know if anybody in El Paso is on Lizzo threes, but
Lil's on the Little Threes.
oh really?
Yeah,
I
he
didn't
has,
even
like,
know. You see what I'm saying? Like that's how
yeah.
like out of touch I may be with some of the stuff. But as far as like visually speaking, that's always what I've tried to deliver to people, and I think that's what has kept us in the loop is like visually appealing car content. Like I said, it might come to shock as people, but I just like delivering something that people can like to look at, and I think it's been okay.
uh, I mean, I think also, you've kind of done it to me, but people think that I only like shoot like cars, because I really like
Mm.
to shoot cars.
Yeah.
But dude, I shoot like pretty much like anything.
Yo, no, I've caught on to that, and like,
Uh, like
that's what I'm saying. Like, I wish I knew like the people you knew so that I can get more of your work, or not your work, but the work you do.
that's funny.
Yeah.
No. I mean, in all honesty, where I started was I just started working with local artists in Dallas,
Right.
and I quickly realized that I needed to do something else because it like don't get me wrong, it's badass like when you make a good video for them and it matches the song and then you hit like their vibe and like
Right.
what they dream the visual is. But you deal with a lot of like, I mean it's with everyone and everything, but in that specific like space you deal with a lot of like different emotions and
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not even gonna like lie, and I've had my fair share of experiences with like artists, and it's definitely a place to start. You know, if you want to stick to it, it's like any other line of business. It's going to be a trial and error and learning, and eventually getting to a better like pay grade. I'd say, but egos are huge, man. Like egos are huge, even at the bottomest, level. Like it's hard. So even when I was doing that, like I could see where you're coming from, and like with the cars for me, sure, there's also egos in cars, but I don't know. I just never really got that vibe from the moment that I started. Because I think, honestly, I also think that if I would have started and somebody gave me that vibe, maybe I got lucky that nobody gave me like that big ego vibe. Because I did deal with a few, but like not as bad as I ever did with some of the music industry or whatever. But if that would have been the case, I don't think I'd be here right now, like trying to, maybe even talking about this, maybe even have met Golden, like just because from the very beginning, like the car community just embraced it. And the thing about the car community is they're like, hey man, this guy shot my video, and they share it. because it's their car, and their friends want to get in that piece of pie too. With the music, it's a little different because it's like, this is my photographer. I don't want nobody else. They gatekeep the hell out of you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're that good. And like I've experienced that with a few models. I've experienced that, and it's hard, bro. The growth is hard. Like I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that. I think that some people have definitely done that to me, where they get my work, and then they don't want to like put, like I guess my name in the
Mhm.
in the hat of like their friends, just because of like I don't want their shit to look like mine.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Like I've kind of understood that in the world of business too, where it's like everyone sees it like very competitively. Like when you start a media company or you start like a marketing company, like everybody gets so competitive about it, and they're like, I want to get this business, and if you're doing that business before I do, then I suck because you suck or whatever, you know? And like I don't know, I think that that's like the wrong way to look at it. With me, I'd rather collab with whoever I can, even if they have more clients than me, dude. Like, or even if they just have one client. Like I would rather collab because I feel that everybody can reach a certain audience no matter what, and that's why I think I don't have a perfect person that I want to interview. Because
Right.
for me, it's like I just want the knowledge to like
Right.
know everything, know everyone. Like I just want to know, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I guess going back to your question of who you want to interview, I mean, sure, I want to interview a lot of people, but like the first that I have lined up is like I'm really excited. It's for underdogs, obviously, but um, just kind of taking two steps back. That's basically like gatekeeping, right? Like, how do you feel about gatekeeping? Because for me, I'm on the ropes about gatekeeping. Like, there's a lot of things that I don't like to share, and there's a lot of things that I will share. So for you, for example, like, is there something you do gatekeep? Is there something you don't gatekeep? Because from what you just told me, it's like you're essentially saying you won't gatekeep. But like, is there something you would or something you wouldn't, realistically? As a
Mm,
photographer, content creator,
as a
marketer?
photographer, I think that the one thing that I would personally gatekeep is the way that I know how to talk to the random people. Like I could give you a pointer about that, and I could promise you that you can land like different clients after that. Like I know exactly how to approach people that I've never met,
Yeah.
and I don't personally like
Like
doing it.
the
Yeah,
trade.
like I don't like doing it, but I I'm being so serious. I don't like doing it because I think it's just such a drag to remember like so much about everyone.
Yeah.
But the thing is that like I'm so good at it.
What about names? Like, can you even remember? Like, dude, I forget names from the moment I say hi to them and like I get their name. Like, I forget that very second.
Nah, I'm pretty good at
Oh
remembering
man,
names.
nah. So that's a big one for me. Like, I don't really care about being like the trade or whatever. But for example, like gatekeeping, dude, I'm guilty, bro. I gatekeep a lot. I gatekeep a lot. Like, I'm not gonna hide it. You know, like photography spots. That's a big one. Just because, like you said, I don't want my shit to look like everybody else's, and sometimes that's not a like obviously a good thing. Like sometimes I'll share like if I feel like, hey man, like I feel like you can do good with this, like you can have the location or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just saying it's just because people don't see it this way. It's like, hey man, like I found this and like it's hard, man, especially in this city so small like El Paso. It's hard to stick out. Like it's really hard to stick out unless you're doing something entirely different or something nobody's ever plugged into. Like gatekeeping's got to be a thing at least here with a city like this. Like I think if this was to be a much bigger city and like the geography was much nicer, again not bashing on the city, but it's not the best. We make it work. We try to make it work as much as we can. Shout out to all the photographers that try to make it work. And even when there's somebody who has like a really sick spot, I don't think I've ever asked. Like I keep it also like real. I'm like, hey, can I have the location? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't unless we're like super tight and we're super homies or I'm giving you a spot, you know what I'm saying? Then I'll be like, hey, where's that? But like if it's somebody that I know, like I've seen a couple good shit out there from other photographers and I'm like, damn, that's good. Like I'm gonna go look for that instead of actually asking. But I don't know, man. Like I believe in gatekeeping. Like I'm not shy to say it because how do you just give away all that knowledge and like I don't know when I took me so long to figure it out. I'm just like that. You know, he can call me a dick for it or whatever, but that's just how I feel about gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Not shy.
Yeah, and then totally aside from you just being a total asshole. Just kidding. No. Actually there is times that I will gatekeep. And the times that I will gatekeep is because people will not put in the legwork to at least get to a point where their question makes sense. Like for example, I go to Jonathan Golden. I'm like, hey, how do you start a business? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead, I could have asked him like, hey, bro, I just got my LLC done and this, and that. It's like, I know there's like a fuck ton of accountants I could go talk to. It's like, who would you recommend?
Yeah, like they don't even put in the work to like start.
Yeah, dude.
Right.
Like, I'm going to tell you a situation I had. And I'm not putting the person on blast, but I wanted to basically like have a brand. And like for a while, I was really like committed to it. And then I kind of stopped because I just went about it the wrong way because I was going after money. But that's beside the point. Somebody saw that I had like these shirts and they were like, oh, dude, that's so sick. I've always wanted to do that. And they were like, where should I start? And I was like, I'm going to be nice. I'm going to throw him a bone. I gave him like one YouTube video. And the YouTube video literally tells you everything you need to know. Bro looks at the link, messages me back like 2 minutes. This video is like 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
He tells me 2 minutes later, oh, very good stuff, very good info. Where do you recommend I get blanks from?
Oh my God.
And I was like, bro, like you didn't even bother opening it because in reality, like I think that's like one of the first things that he talks about is like the blanks.
Mm-hmm.
So just that alone, I was like, I'm not gonna tell him anything. And I had to be a dick, dude. I was like, hey, bro, like honestly, you need to put in the research because like I'm not the type of person to just give away like all this free shit. Like, yeah, I might do it like in some of my videos, but I'm not gonna give you like everything.
Yeah, and that's how I can agree. Like I do sometimes, you know, like you said, throw them a bone when I see that they've done at least some level. Like they come with that extra question. I'm like, oh, that's actually a pretty good question. I know that you're actually trying to figure this out. That's when I actually kind of like spill the beans a little bit and trying to point them in the right direction because I see that potential as well. Not that I'm saying that nobody has it, but like at least that you can show it to me is where I can feel like, okay, cool. Like I'll give you a pointer or two. And it's not like I know a whole lot, but I feel like they're interested in the way I do it. So I could just try to help them as much as I can. Which also puts me into a direction saying like, nowadays, man, starting a clothing brand is like, it's like the equivalent of starting a SoundCloud rapping career. It's too many out there. No bashing on nobody, whatever. But it's just, I get ads every day on my like reels of like a new clothing brand. And I'm always, and this is, my dumbass keeps getting them because I keep clicking in their accounts. But like 100 followers, 200 followers, like every new account. And sometimes they have good ads. Like it's a good launch, but like sometimes it kind of like discourages me to like even do anything clothing related because it's like, how am I supposed to stick out from them when they have a decent ad and then they're barely starting their first launch? Like I don't get it. Like again, you can do it. You can for sure do it. But now it's 10 times, 20 times harder to be able to stick out. And like, I'm just not a fan. Like, I'm not a fan. Like, it's gotten so saturated. Like, can we just go back to being SoundCloud rapper?
Hey, but you need merch, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. But okay. So that's another thing. Like, they're not willing to create that pool of like following to make the merch. And like, people come to me all the time, like, hey, should I make shirts? And I tell them, like, yeah, but don't expect a lot. Like, even to this day, like, it's hard for us to sell T-shirts, man. Like, that's probably one of the hardest things to sell when you're, like, a name. Because they want to have a reason to buy it. Like, what are they supporting? So when you start, like, a clothing brand and you just put a name on it, even if it's catchy, like, it's hard. Like, it's really hard. Like, what are you standing for? That's the first thing people ask. What does that mean? Well, what am I representing when I wear it, you know? So when people ask and come to me about it, I'm like, okay, well, what are you representing? Like, and I tell them straight up, like, dude, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a hard sell. Like, sure, your friends and your family will support it and they'll buy it. But then what? Are they going to buy your second drop again? Like, do you really feel like they're going to come back for a second batch? Like, you have to really stick out. And one of the biggest things for me is, like, when I notice people out in the street or in meets that I don't know their face, that I don't recognize them or, like, know them personally, and they're wearing something of ours, it really makes me feel like, cool, like, somebody outside of my circle is really supporting this and they really like this. It makes me feel like something's being done right. And I always appreciate everybody comes up, you know, like, unfortunately I can't remember everybody's faces. But definitely, like, I can feel like there's some level of connection because it's like, you guys like what I do and you support me and I appreciate it 100%. So when they come and talk to me and ask me about it, just because they see it's possible doesn't mean that it's easy. And I feel like I just want to like reiterate and double down on that. Just kind of another little topic that I had.
Nice.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts?
Well, Monday again is definitely a thing we're gonna try to keep up with. What do you want to do? You want to try to keep this on a week to week basis, every other week basis, monthly basis? I really don't have a necessary like a scheduled plan. I just want to get as much as we can out here, whenever we're all available.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
No, I mean, I would love it for it to be weekly, but my work schedule is very weird.
Inconsistent.
Yeah. Well,
That's fine.
the times that I am in town
Yeah.
is very like, I don't know if I will be.
Hmm.
I don't know if I'm gonna be gone like next week or
That's fine. I mean, people are already asking us like, "Oh, is this only going to be on Mondays?" Like, it's not even Monday now, and I don't think we're going to update on Monday, like upload on Monday. I just kind of it was like a play on words, kind of saying like when you start a shitty week or when you start a week period, you're always excited to start the new week. I think. So I think as long as we get consistency, like Mangeki has always been a thing about consistency. Golden Vapor obviously has been able to grow and keep growing and never stopping. Ever since I've like have them in the back of my head from remembering their logo. I think that combination is going to be really good. Try to get people out here as much as we can and get a little bit outside of just the car stuff. Obviously, we're going to surround ourselves with the car stuff a little bit because that's more of a, like our dominant community. But I don't know anything that you're looking forward to other than what I'm looking forward to.
I just want to say thanks again to Jonathan Golden, dude, for just being fucking awesome, letting us like do the pod, pretty much being a part of it like in your own way. Well, without him, we wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, if anybody is local, come to like all the Golden Vapor shops and come and shop. That way, you guys get entered on the car giveaway, which is gonna be ending soon. If you're not local, I believe he has a website where you can buy exotic snacks on, and every $20 goes towards entries on that car. And then if you want to learn more about it, you can read the rules on it. But dude, Jonathan Golden, fucking awesome dude, man. Really thank you.
And then if you come into the shop at one point, we might be doing this. Like as of right now, I think we were doing regular business hours, and we could have a customer walk in here. You might find us here at the at the middle of a podcast, which would be interesting, you know. But I don't know. I mean, I wish we could maybe eventually get to the point where we can do something live, some segments. We're looking into some segments of like maybe you sit in your car and we can like talk about it and like make fun of it. And if it's all fun and games. Realistically, if somebody gets a little upset, well, so that's so sad. But yeah, super excited for the partnership. Super excited for everything we got planned for ahead, and hopefully this is something we can keep at. So yeah, Monday again.
Monday again. Catch you on the next one.